Alright, I'm trying to run a bunch of things at once, but one of them is catching this chat tournament game between Seto and Midas, so that should be pretty interesting. Instantly, I am drawn to look at the strong corners, but it looks like they are all covered and somewhat difficult to recapture. Maybe 6, 1, 4, 7, and 9 as a case, because there's a recapture in 8 if needed. Let's look at Midas's total power. He has 7 in each direction except to the right, where he only has a 6. Not a clear way to exploit that, though if you could play 1575 twice, that would mean you could play 1575 and 3, and the only capture 4646, you'd use 1575 to combo back in 1. But it doesn't seem like there's really a way to pay that off. Looking for ways to create a challenge for the opponent, something they have trouble dealing with. Gotta pause that bot. The bots are running, sort of. Not really. I'm trying to test something with a bot club experiment. Okay, bot club experiment got a game, playing turds. We're seeing if I successfully tweaked some components of it. I'm trying to make a better closed bot today. That's my project. All right, we've picked up one of the 7-6 corners, 1167. So this could easily go in 7 as a weak corner. I've often called Seto the master of the weak corner. This could be headed for 9 as well, because that creates a clear challenge. You can't capture the 7. I can. I am threatening to go in 6. That has some appeal, though note that 1746 is not a great recapture in 8 because there's no capture of that from 7. But that also forces the opponent to go in 5 if they ever want to take advantage of that, and that comes with its own risks. Alright, will the bot do what I told it to? No, it did not do what I told it to. Huh. Oh, I didn't reboot fully. Okay, that's my fault. Alright, well, I'll get back to that. It does go in 9. I think this is a pretty coherent move, right? 1167 has very limited power, right? It's very strong in 2 directions, but those are directions that Seto already has cards that are more powerful or equally powerful in those directions. But I would say more powerful. Like 6147 is more powerful to the left than 1167 because the 4 essentially powers up that 7 in some situations. So he's got a card better to the left. He obviously has a card better going down because he has a 7 going down. And that 6 isn't plus walling anything. And so it can sort of be used either as a weak card or as a strong card or as a half weak card. And its strengths aren't that strong. It's not a corner Seto is good at recapturing. Its weaknesses is okay. I think it would be perfectly reasonable to stick this card in 7. But here in 9, it both kind of takes advantage of both. It's very easy to recapture, and if you're on first turn, you have last turn, and you want stuff that's easy to recapture. But it also gives you, it creates a challenge for them. They don't have 8. So my instinct with Midas would be attack the strong side. Try to make it so that 8 isn't a problem for us. So one move that comes to mind is 4, 4, 5, 7, and 7, setting up 7, 2, 4, 5, and 8. But this move also gives up some down power, and you probably can give up down power. Seto's not very strong going up. His hand is very weak going up. I didn't notice that. I should have. But it makes a lot of sense for Seto to start in one of the lower squares, given his hand's directionality. And specifically because the strong side of his card faces left rather than up. I haven't actually thought about this before. Right, if his 1167 had a high number facing up, well, first of all, he might not have the up weakness if that was the case, but pretend he did, then if Midas wanted to attack the strong side, he'd probably go in 3 or in 5 to set up something in 6, which would in general, both moves, start moving cards higher on the board. Here, if Midas wants to attack the stronger side of 1167, he has to play another card. Okay, 5's a little higher, but 5 or 7 are much lower, obviously, than 1 or 5 on the board, thus incentivizing the game to be in a lower direction. All right. The bot played not the game I wanted it to, but no, don't put up another game. I have to reset the bot. I'll get it doing that. It'll slow everything down. I apologize. But I do have a secondary project at the moment. Just because I had that up, I noticed this game getting played. And that, all right. So Midas says, I want the game going up and to the left. You have just given up some power to the left. But more importantly, I want it going up. And I'm saying I have good control of your starter. So the obvious move for Seto is to go in 6. The question is, which card lands in 6? 6147 is interesting because it is A, the most challenging card, and B, even though Midas can combo in 3, Seto combos back in 2 with 1575, or 3664. But Midas doesn't have to take the combo immediately. He could play in 2, blocking the combo back, keeping the combo in 3, and ideally setting up a combo in 5. However, I don't think he has a card to do this. You could also play an 8 or 4 to try to set up a combo in 5. 7, 2, 4, 5, and 8 is pretty interesting there. I have no idea what's going on there. So Seto goes for it. Seto just says, you don't have it. I have the combo back. And now the question is, can Midas create dynamism? 4, 6, 4, 6 in 4 creates a threat in 5. 7, 2, 4, 5, and 8 creates a threat in 5. I had a game against Midas once like this. It was with Elemental in a chat tournament where I was sort of had all the combos covered, but he could create one more. And it was quite dangerous, but I could force him to combo in a specific order, and I got the win. But Midas does sometimes go for these positions. The way to avoid this would have been to play, something like 4-4-5-7 or 4-6-4-6 in 7 and set up a threat in 8 yourself so that Seto's threat to go in 6 disappears. Note, Seto has no ups, but he kind of may not need ups at this point. Yeah, it may just not matter. A 6147 looked like the critical move. Something interesting about Seto is basically when he sees the critical move and the critical line, this is true of Akiyama as well, he often just plays the move, right? 6147 is critical. It clearly builds out the strongest safety. The question is, can it be punished? And Seto's just saying, no, it can't. I hope Midas goes for one of the kind of complicated moves. 7-2-4-5 in 8, I think probably just doesn't work. Seto just blocks 5 and you still don't have 3. But 4-6-4-6 and 4 might be a little more interesting. And because you have last turn, and it's not structurally unsound, like, there's a good chance Seto blocks 5 there, right? Oh, no, you have second turn. So you're never really going to land in 3. You're going to have to play 2. 1-5-7-5 is going to sweep you. Yeah, so if you go 4, Seto just goes 5, and I'm sure he'll quick play that, and I think that just wins. He sweeps you side to side. 1-5-7-5. Yeah, so he does go 4. He sets up a different plus, but I think Seto just blocks 5. Ooh, but he can't block 5 with 3-6-6-4. Okay, there's a real point here. Because I was thinking 1-5-7-5 and 1-7-4-6 are just such good sweepers here that it's going to be over side to side. But maybe it isn't. Because that means Seto probably has to use 1-7-4-6 and 5. When he doesn't have quite as good side to side sweepers. But they're good enough because actually 3-6-6-4 sweeps any capture Midas could play in 7 or 8. So Midas can at best go even on the bottom to 3-6-4-6, and he's getting completely destroyed by 1-5-7-5. So yeah, Seto goes 5, it's over. And Seto has done it. And Seto did it, about 30 seconds before I came to that conclusion, as you can see from the timer, because Seto just sees the clear lines so well. Seto is so precise and good at this. Okay. Now, I think I've reset my bots, so I'm going to try to run that again. And I'm going to start putting this game in my database. tournament is this? This is a chat tournament, 43. Will the bot do what I told it to? It did do what I told it to. Okay. Now, I don't like the move it played, but it did what I told it to. Oh, it's going to get crushed this game. Okay. Well, I'll have to tweak that after. Okay, so this was round 2. This was Seto, Midas. Really nice game by Seto. 11679, 44571, 61476, 64454, 17465, 72457. Seto now plays 3664 and 8. Midas goes 3276 and 3 because he's trying to lose the 9-1. 1575 will go in 2, and 4646 is the remaining card. Always respect for the 9-1 loss. Yeah, really nicely played by Seto. It's kind of rare to see an opposite corner demolished quite so thoroughly, but there just wasn't play against 6147 and 6, right? Seto's game plan just like unveiled in a kind of really nice way here, where he goes 9, which says you don't have 8, and if you don't go 8, if you don't set up 8, I'll go 4. Midas didn't set up 8, so Seto played 4, specifically saying the critical moves against 4 are 3 and 8. You don't have 8 because I know you don't have 8 for my starter, and you don't have 3 because I know you don't have 3 because I have it covered, right? And Midas goes, okay, I'll create a threat elsewhere. And Seto goes, I still have 3 covered. The only way you could set up a serious threat is by going in 2, blocking my coverage of 3. You didn't have a move in 2, so I can just go in 5, blocking your threat. He did so very quickly with the correct card, keeping sweepers for the top and the bottom. 3664, not quite as good a sweeper as 1746, but if you start looking at the specific numbers of the cards, it does basically just as good a job. It looks like a worse sweeper, but it's fully sufficient. And yeah, gets the win. Nice win by Seto.